From Chicago, Illinois, ladies and gentlemen, the stainless stockings of Rob Speer.
Thank you, guys. Let's give it up for your host, Ryan Williams, one more time. You guys are familiar with improv comedy if you're here, so there's a very common improv game called Sex With Me Is Like, where someone shouts out a suggestion and, like someone shout out a word.
Corn.
Okay, we're not playing now, but we would use corn, is how that would go. And I would be like, oh, sex with me is like corn, makes me corny. Whatever, you make a little joke. And I once got to see someone shout out toothbrush. And immediately Ryan Williams jumps on the stage and goes, sex with me is like a toothbrush. Oral B. So what I'm saying, guys, is comedy is art. That is why we are here tonight. And thank you so much for coming out to the Big Little Comedy Festival. My name is Rob Speer. I'm going to be doing more talking-y comedy at you, telling you a lot of things about me. So I'll start with a very basic one. I am engaged. Yeah. Love is real. Wow, I really motivated the hell out of someone in the second row. You guys applauded. She made some life choices. I'm marrying Tim. Okay, wow. No, I believe love is real because it happened to me. Like, guys, I am engaged. I said I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman, and she's going to do that with me. To put that in perspective, imagine all of the hours 7-Eleven is ever going to be open. We're going to do that. Again, perspective. Imagine you leave the show tonight. You walk into a 7-Eleven, and then you never leave. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about commitment. And I've seen love change. We've been together only 2 years, but I have seen it change from the first time I said I love you to her, when I was basically saying, I love you so much, I can't not say this anymore. I love you so much, I've got to get this out right now. And now, 2 years later, when I say I love you to her, it means we're getting off the phone. Love you, love you, love you. You guys know that's how it goes. Love is work, and it's kind of like working at a 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's fun when you just start out and you're doing that part-time. But then eventually you start taking on responsibilities, and it's not just getting high behind the dumpster anymore. You start smelling like the place. You start, I don't smell like old hot dogs, but I do smell like Camel Crushes in the body shop. So it's real. Like, we have a real relationship, and we fight. Anyone? Are you guys a relationship room? Am I talking to single people or relationship people? Do we have relationships here? Anybody? All right. And just to hear the sadder version, who here is single?
Yeah!
Never mind, that's somebody who's single and fucking tonight. That's what that sounds like. That sounds like that all day. So if you're single, head that way after my set. But relationships are work. We get in fights every once in a while. They're usually about something dumb. Our first fight definitely was. We got in a fight because she went to a bachelorette party and came home. I guess they had like a bunch of party favors because she brought home 8 chocolate penis-shaped lollipops, which starts this weird countdown between your heterosexuality and the moment of they're just chocolate. So I start sneaking a dick here and there. Just like, one, two at first. 3 days in, I'm down 6 dicks. That I don't want to have to explain. I don't want to have to explain it. Again, the rest of my life with this woman. I can't give her this sort of ammo now. Because this is it. It's a contest to the death between the two of us from here. That's another part of being in a relationship is there's dynamics. They've got a family that I've got to spend time around. I've got a family they've got to spend time around. I used to think it was more fun to spend time with my family and like have her visit us. No. If you guys are in a relationship, spend time with their family. For 2 reasons. 1, totally, that's what you should do in a relationship when you care about someone. And 2, when something weird happens, it's on them to explain. It's not on you. When you're hanging out with her family and her grandma says, "Oh, I had a bad experience in Baltimore once." What happened? I saw a black guy. That's on her to explain. I don't have to do shit. I sit back on that. When we're watching the Macy's Day Parade with my mom and she explains that dragons blur the line between good and evil for children, that's on me. That's on me. I got to explain that one out. It's a different kind of dynamic because I feel like I'm getting my life back together with her in a lot of ways. I'm 33 now. I went through my 20s the way Mr. Magoo goes through construction sites. Just blindly stepping off of something, hoping something else will catch me, I guess. Because of that, I guess part of it, I got really into magic tricks. Sounds ridiculous, but did you guys like magic? Yeah! Alright, I used to do this one trick all the time. I would go to an ATM, I would take out all my money. I would take it to my friend Zach, who would turn it into drugs! And then my 20s disappears! Not a joke! But because of that, like, I've got bill collectors still calling me. If anyone else, if you've experienced that, I know your pain. If you haven't, I'll explain. Basically, a bunch of people call and leave you voicemails of like, "Hey, we want your money," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." We're at an impasse here. But that's it. They just leave voicemail after voicemail. They're like really shitty Elmer Fudd level hunters. Except they're not after me because I'm a wascally wabbit. They're after me because I'm fiscally irresponsible. But I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real fucking hard. Like, I want to get this right because I think I have found the one. Like, this girl is so much more the one than every other girl I've ever said that about in the past. It's amazing. And we have fun. She and I, we got in a 2-week-long battle with Nerf dart guns that made me realize why I love her. Because it wasn't, I mean, we went hard on it. We would just, like, sneak up on each other and shoot them with a Nerf dart gun. Really intense battle, and then a week and a half into it, I was out walking my dog, and I didn't have my Nerf gun. Yeah. Drama. I come around the corner. She's standing there in the moonlight, like Joker in the first Batman. And she draws on me. And I have 2 thoughts, back to back. The first thought is, all right, she's got a Nerf gun, but I got a bag of dog shit. So if this turns into an arms race, I win. I win this one. And my second thought, and why I knew this is love, is I was like, I bet you wouldn't break up with me if I did it. I bet you we could do this. Maybe I have a weird definition of love. The thing is, I learned love in a weird way, because the pattern I was on for a while was like, she likes me, she loves me, she hates me, she leaves. Anyone else do that? She likes you, she loves you, she hates you, she leaves. This one likes me, loves me, knows me enough to hate me, and is staying. Yeah! I have brought down the room by talking about love. This is a weird moment here. I gotta watch that. I don't want to go too negative, because I feel like I'm getting my stuff together. I'm on antidepressants, which, yeah, laugh if you want, I say they work. I mean, antidepressants cause change. You give enough antidepressants to a Kmart, it can become a Target. Like, that's how good they are. Although sometimes I'll take mine as a challenge. I'll take my antidepressants, I'll put on a Tom Waits record, and I'll just see who wins. Let's see what today is. Roll the dice. It's weird. I go to a therapist for depression and suicidal thoughts, and yet this guy has never once charged me up front. He sends a bill 3 weeks later. How fucking cocky is that? Right? Then he's just like, relax, you'll be here. I'm very good. I can't wait to show him. Thought I brought the room down before. I'll tell you this, you know what, that sounds very down, but it's being depressed doesn't have to be all bad. You know, it led me to a brilliant money-making idea once. Sometimes when you're depressed, you just want to put a gun in your mouth and end it all, which led me to an amazing idea, flavored guns. If you're not going to treat yourself now, when? The 5 people that laughed at that joke, you're my friends. That's how we divided up the audience here. All right, I don't want the room to get too down, so I'm going to try. You guys are going to see some improv and sketch later on, so you mind if I try out some characters? Try out my acting ability. This first one is an impression of a guy who does not understand that commercials are not part of the TV show he is currently watching. Who's this guy? What does Vonage have to do with anything? That's it. That's the whole impression. I was already done. I'm not waiting for you guys. Yes, you can clap if you want. Clearly doing this for me. This next one, I mentioned the singer Tom Waits before. This is my impression of Tom Waits at a birthday party.
There's a hooker floating face down in a dumpster hand to Denny's, with her sparkly shoes all next to her, bleeding from her head. Happy birthday to you.
Feel like that's how it would go. That's what I think. They're not all going to be winners. No. It's an impression of a zombie on a diet.
Brain.
Once again, we're narrowing down the number of people I'm friends with. I'm just going to be doing individualized jokes for people around the room later on tonight. Everyone get theirs, everyone get their one, great. One per person, don't be greedy. Well, guys, I was thinking about something the other day. My fiance and I go out to eat at restaurants a lot. Anybody else like eating restaurants really often? I eat there enough, and I was going to make a really exclusive group, like, who here is eating in a restaurant? Big money. But even though I'm broke, I do it enough that I take it for granted. Like, people work really hard, and they bring you food that they worked on that you just ordered. You just sat down in a chair and ordered it. And I take it for granted, and I think it's because at a restaurant it's normal. But, like, imagine we were doing this show tonight, and midway through my set, someone came around and they were like, hey, I made, this is not going to happen, but they were like, midway through my set, they were like, hey, I made this special soup. Do you want a bowl? You'd be like, wow, that's really nice. I'm going to take them up on this offer, right? Well, we're moving on to second example then. Let's say you guys are shopping at a Five Below, and somebody walks up and they're like, hey, I have a menu of delicious items. I thought you could choose one and I would bring it over to you and you could enjoy it. You're like, wow, this is a great Five Below. I will take a steak. Right?
Yes.
I'm so glad you guys are in on the sketchy examples because we're moving on to a third one. Let's say you guys go home from the show tonight, you're watching Netflix, and somebody comes up and they're like, hey, I made chicken fingers. You're like, oh my God, what do?
Take the chicken fingers.
You shoot that person in the face because they were in your home and this is America! Now guys, you may have noticed that joke doesn't really work. Anybody else notice it? I did. I'll be honest, I also feel weird about doing a shooting joke when there are so many mass shootings in the news. I wrote that joke the week after the shooting in Orlando happened. And I was like, I really want to take this out of my set or like edit the joke. But guys, I wrote that joke about guns on paper in America. And if you write something about guns on paper in America, whether it works or not, you can never, ever, 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 ever edit it or leave it out. America. I don't want to sound like I'm political. I'm really not. I want someone to give Donald Trump his sled back. But aside from that, I don't care. Because it doesn't affect me. But I see these arguments on Facebook all the time. And when I watch the news, people are so angry. Like, do you guys watch the news? Less people that were in relationships, or this is a really informed but sexually satisfied crowd. Great. Okay, I watched the news the other day. God, are they nosy? For like half an hour, all they did was talk about other people's business. Like, that's it. That's all they're doing on there, and it confused me a little. And I'll tell you why. This is unrelated to the last shooting joke, but they were interviewing a woman on the news, and they said, best friend of murder victim. And I was like, oh, that's really sad. But this woman kept saying, I have no idea why anyone would do this. I have no idea why anyone would kill my best friend. And I was like, that is even sadder. Because it means you guys weren't really best friends. If you don't know a reason why someone would get murdered, they're not your best friend. They're not your best friend. My best friend is a guy named Kevin Ritchie. If he gets murdered tonight, I'm going to be devastated, I'm going to be heartbroken, I'm going to be damn sure it has something to do with that chick he fucked at 7-Eleven. Again, remember how I went through my 20s. I know my people. I know what I've got. I've basically got a bunch of theater friends and angry white people yelling on Twitter. That's where my friendships are right now. I try to not only find new things to write about, I try to write about my relationship and my life, but I try and sound educated up on stage. Like, I do research for some of these jokes. I know it doesn't sound like it, but some of them I do. Like the one night I was looking at pictures online and I saw a picture of Sigmund Freud's mother. I get it. Yeah, no, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, I would too. But that's just me. I know, like, I try to write jokes that are a little more intellectual like that. I wrote a joke about Schrodinger's cat, but I haven't opened the notebook that I wrote it in, so I don't know if it's still there or what's going on with it. But it's what I come back to is just being silly and playing around, like I said, those characters that I was doing before. Did you guys enjoy the impressions that I was doing? Yeah. Well, I'm not doing any more. No matter how hard you clap and bang. Woo! Wow. Okay. I told you guys I'm in a serious relationship. I can tell when someone's faking. I see it all the time. If you're going to pretend enthusiasm, I need more pretend enthusiasm than that. Oh my goodness. Well, gee, I guess I could. This is an impression of white people when they're pretending to know what you're talking about. I heard about that on NPR. I always hope that's enough. I hope that's enough for every conversation for me. You know what? Let's talk music one more time, because there's a song that has always it seemed weird to me. Do you guys know the Simon & Garfunkel song Cecilia?
Yeah.
All right, there's a line in that song where he says, "I got up to wash my face. When I get back to bed, someone's taken." Yeah, you know the line. So this is my impression of that guy coming back to bed. Who's this guy? What does bondage have to do with anything? I don't feel great about that one. But the thing is, guys, I don't have to end on cheap Vonage sponsored jokes. I get millions from them for this, so like I said when I started, I found love. I believe love is real, girl in the second row. it's something that I found because I know I found the right girl. And like I said, she proves it in various ways, and one of them, I'll share one last story before I go. We're driving down the road, and I get really angry in the car because I am a guy. So, I was yelling at someone because they had cut me off. And I was like really angry and yelling about people driving badly, and nobody knows how to drive in this goddamn city. And finally, a second car comes in and goes between me and the car who cut me off. And I got really pissed, and I go, "What the fuck is this? Who's this guy?" And without even missing a beat, she goes, "And what is voltage?" Never mind. And that's how I know I found the one. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Rob Speer. Let's bring Ryan Williams back up here. Thank you for coming out to